Like, they're suing me for something I didn't. It's just the most bullshit thing. And I literally had to pay them a lot of fucking...
Recent reports suggest that Jake Paul is facing legal trouble involving Netflix following his loss in the fight against Anthony Joshua. Watching the situation unfold, it appeared to some observers that the outcome aligned with expectations, raising questions about how events were perceived rather than making any confirmed claims.
That Gervonta Davis was being very difficult to work with and Netflix was just waiting for him.
The event was promoted as a major heavyweight boxing match and streamed worldwide on Netflix, positioning itself as a serious sporting contest rather than an exhibition or influencer-style bout. It took place in a professional arena with official judges, medical staff, broadcast crews, and all the standard elements expected of a sanctioned heavyweight fight.
Yeah, we think he broke his jaw. He's fine. We met with Netflix afterwards. He took a shower. He drove himself to the hospital. A broken jaw is very common in sports, particularly in boxing or MMA. And I think the recovery time from the...
Jake Paul entered the event projecting complete confidence, with a public image built around fearlessness and self-belief. That was the narrative being presented. However, the opponent across from him represented a very different level of experience. Anthony Joshua was not a crossover athlete or a novelty matchup, but a former two-time unified heavyweight champion and Olympic gold medalist, shaped by years of competition at the highest professional level. His background reflected long-term experience against elite heavyweight fighters within the sport.
Anthony Joshua didn't throw a single straight right hand for 6 rounds.
The difference in experience was noticeable throughout the matchup. Joshua brought an Olympic background, world championship experience, and years of high-level rounds that had contributed to his development as a professional fighter. By comparison, Jake Paul's career had been shaped more by promotional moments, highlight-driven performances, and selectively chosen opponents. The physical contrast also stood out, with advantages in reach, size, power, timing, and composure favoring Joshua, who appeared comfortable without drawing attention to himself, while Paul relied more on energy and presence to stay competitive.
And not only did you not get knocked out, you dropped and said, wow. I was like, wow, that was nice. I was on the ground. I was like, that was a good shot.
Did he surprise you with his power?
To be honest, no, but I mean, he surprised my jaw.
This marked the first time Jake Paul faced an active, world-level boxer in his prime, someone with little to gain from the matchup and a reputation to uphold. There were no protective storylines or narrative buffers, only genuine risk. From the opening bell, some viewers felt the focus shifted away from winning and toward lasting through the contest without being exposed too quickly. The outcome was seen by many not merely as a defeat, but as a moment that challenged the broader perception surrounding Paul's boxing career, raising questions about whether confidence and promotion alone could substitute for long-term elite experience on a global stage.
If you support this man, you support the most vile sin a man.
From the opening moments, Jake Paul's approach appeared focused on movement and defense, circling, avoiding prolonged exchanges, clinching when necessary, and repeatedly resetting. Rather than asserting control, the emphasis seemed to be on managing distance and conserving himself. Joshua allowed this rhythm to develop. He appeared to slow the pace intentionally, observe patterns, and measure timing, relying on patience rather than urgency. Many viewers felt he trusted fatigue to play its role before committing fully. Paul's constant movement suggested an effort to stay afloat under pressure, with each clinch and reset buying additional time. Joshua did not force the action, instead waiting for opportunities, an approach often associated with experience at the highest level, where understanding an opponent's energy expenditure can be as important as offense itself.
Looks like Jake Paul is trying to bait him into something, but he's the one that's hit the canvas twice in this round. Incredible.
The turning point came in the fifth round, which many viewed as the moment the contest shifted decisively. 2 knockdowns occurred in the same round, not as the result of reckless exchanges, but through steady pressure and accumulated fatigue. Balance appeared compromised, defensive reactions slowed, and conditioning became a visible factor. For many observers, that round challenged earlier perceptions, suggesting the outcome was less about misfortune and more about a clear competitive gap. By the 6th round, the conclusion felt inevitable. A clean, well-timed power shot ended the contest without drama or dispute, prompting the referee to intervene once it was clear the match had reached its natural conclusion.
I love this shit. I'm going to come back and get a world championship belt at some point.
Are you surprised you went 6 rounds with the former 2-time unified heavyweight champion?
Honestly, I'm not surprised. I just got tired, to be honest. It was just so much.
The reaction afterward captured the complexity of the moment. Many were surprised that he made it through 6 rounds, while also noting how limited his options appeared once sustained pressure set in. Rather than a display of defiance, some viewed it as a gradual breakdown recorded from every angle, leaving little room to reframe the outcome. The confident rhetoric faded quickly. According to reports, Jake Paul was taken to a hospital for medical evaluation as a precautionary measure. There were no celebratory speeches or post-fight bravado, just routine medical care and professionals doing their work.
Little fucked up. But will you take care of me forever and ever?
I saw you talking crap to AJ at one point.
I was thinking I pissed him off. I was just saying fuck.
Reports following the fight indicated that Jake Paul sustained a jaw injury that was later described as involving fractures, with medical imaging cited as confirmation. Recovery timelines discussed publicly suggested several weeks at minimum, assuming no complications. Such an injury is not superficial and typically requires rest, medical supervision, and a pause in full training. Jaw injuries can affect everyday functions like eating and speaking, making recovery a serious process rather than a short interruption. Observers noted that this type of setback can influence how an athlete evaluates future competition. Despite this, Paul's public response focused on maintaining his online persona, with lighthearted social media posts and humor used to frame the hospital visit as content, drawing mixed reactions regarding reflection versus branding.
Then he broke my brother's jaw. Yeah?
You don't care, though. Jake's having a fucking blast.
Let's see him back again for sure?
Yeah.
The aftermath highlighted a sharp contrast between public persona and the realities of high-level competition. After the loss, some observers noted that attempts to frame the experience as content or branding were highly visible, underscoring the difference between self-promotion and facing an opponent with established elite credentials. Rather than portraying a triumphant display, the situation illustrated that confidence and media presence cannot substitute for experience and physical preparedness in the ring.
Now, you asked me a question. Look, it wasn't the best performance. It wasn't the best. The end goal was to get Jake Paul, pin him down, and hurt him. That has been the request.
Fighters and commentators weighed in almost immediately after the bout, and the consensus suggested that there was little surprise at how events unfolded. Observers noted that the match progressed smoothly for Joshua, who appeared to manage his pace without needing to exert maximum effort. The recurring observation was that Joshua did not overcommit, chase, or take unnecessary risks. He adjusted strategically and acted when the timing was right. For many analysts, this highlighted that the narrative of Paul pushing a champion to his limits did not align with the technical and measured nature of Joshua's performance.
Thank you very much. I'm here with the winner, Anthony Joshua. Anthony, congratulations on the win. How would you describe that fight?
Well, first of all, I want to give love to the crowd, everyone that came out. I really do appreciate everyone in this venue.
Attention soon turned to the financial aspect, which often dominates discussions around Jake Paul. Reports suggested that both fighters earned significant sums, with estimates ranging from $40 to $50 million each, and some speculation about additional earnings from back-end deals and Netflix incentives. This financial context shifted public perception, as observers noted that Paul's loss did not appear to affect his earnings or public persona. While fans can accept a defeat in the ring, reactions indicated frustration when a competitor maintains a victorious image or focus on financial gain immediately following a decisive loss.
This is a civil lawsuit, and it's just allegations. It's not criminal, so there must be some.
Comparisons in the aftermath of the fight grew sharper. Some commentators suggested that Jake Paul's strengths lie more in promotion and marketing than in competitive substance, effectively a performer who can generate attention and monetize hype, but faces challenges under sustained high-level pressure. This perception had a strong impact because it highlighted the gap between image and performance. For Netflix, the focus shifted quickly from the spectacle of the fight to the broader implications for their brand. The event represented a major attempt to establish their presence in elite boxing, with Paul positioned as the high-profile bridge to that audience, controversial, attention-grabbing, and profitable.
This is a civil lawsuit, and it's just allegations. It's not criminal, so there must be some.
Attention soon turned to the planned super fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta "Tank" Davis, which had been scheduled for November 14th in Miami. Tickets reportedly sold quickly. Marketing campaigns were already underway. Ad placements had been booked, sponsors secured, and production crews staffed. Netflix had committed significant funding even before the event, with internal estimates suggesting a total event value approaching $120 million, including subscriptions, advertising, sponsorships, and long-term brand positioning. Preparations for production, staffing, promotion, and venue logistics were reportedly well underway, indicating that the event was being treated as a major, fully organized undertaking rather than a casual or speculative endeavor.
He's done really well tonight. I want to give him his props. He got up time and time again. It was difficult in there for him, but he kept on trying to find a way.
Jake Paul reportedly canceled the fight unilaterally, without a gradual exit or negotiation. Netflix subsequently filed a lawsuit alleging willful breach of contract rather than mutual termination or unforeseen circumstances, with damages reported at $100 million and the potential for additional lost profits to increase that figure. The case highlights concerns about accountability and reliability as a promotional draw, which can impact relationships with platforms and advertisers. According to reports, Netflix executives expressed frustration, noting that the cancellation affected public perception and trust with business partners. The situation emphasized the high stakes involved in large-scale, commercially backed sporting events and the consequences of contract decisions in that context.
I don't like it. Even Anthony Joshua had some class and, apologized to me.
Did he really?
Yeah. He worked his way through the crowd and came up to me and said, "Mom, it's just boxing.
It's the fight game.
It's just the fight game."
Obviously.
Jake Paul's public image appears to have shifted significantly. Once promoted as fearless and disruptive, he is now being described by some observers as evasive and unreliable. Public opinion remains divided. Supporters frame his actions as taking a moral stand, while critics view them as risk-averse decisions framed to maintain appearances. Beyond perception, there are tangible consequences. Sponsors may be reconsidering partnerships, potential platforms could hesitate to engage, and ongoing legal matters demand time, money, and focus. In professional boxing, respect is earned through performance in the ring, not through announcements, social media, or intentions. Recognition comes from results under scrutiny, not from what is planned or nearly achieved.